Hey guys, James Mason here. Today I'm going to show you a quick tip on how to set up a little bench grinder and how to sharpen some chisels. I've picked up this little Azito bench grinder. Now it's pretty cheap, it's only about 40 bucks. But the reason I've got this is because it's light, it's compact and it's perfect for the job site. So I can just screw this down to my saw bench, sharpen my chisels, not have to worry about lugging around a big heavy duty grinder. I've got one of those down in the workshop, so this is just perfect for on-site little quick fixes. Alright, so I'll show you how it's used. Okay, so to start with, you want it nice and secure on the bench. So we're just going to screw this down. Now the way this has been set up, it's got two guides here, basically just for flat grinding. You've got a little bit of a slope here. Now you can see here on this one, we first want to get the angle right, the original bevel on this chisel. So by putting it on at that original bevel, you can see that guide isn't really going to give us the right angle. So what I'm going to do a little bit of a hack. I'm going to take this off, grind a bit out of the support so I can get what I need for these chisels. And that's basically all it's really going to be for, is for sharpening chisels. Beautiful. So just by taking that edge off, that just gives me enough to get this over to the angle that I need. Now the manufacturer is not really going to endorse this. It's really just a bit of a hack that I need for this job site. Like I said, it's a cheap tool. It's really just to get me out of trouble to sharpen some chisels up when I'm up here on site. So let's put this back on. Get it up closest to the wheel as possible. So that way we've got as much as this blade of the chisel on the bench rest as possible, so that it matches the angle of our chisel. So see if you put that up against there, it's just about right. So now we'll tighten this little lug up. That's going to allow us to grind it. So you can see by doing that, I've just allowed more of a surface area for this chisel to sit on, and just to be able to grind across this wheel. So before we do the sharpening, just get a little water bottle, chop the top of it off, put a little bit of water in there, stick that beside the grinder. The reason we do that is we don't want to burn the chisels. We don't want steel getting too hot. So as we're going through and grinding it, every now and again we'll just dip it in just to cool it off a little bit. So let's have a look at this. I've started to grind it. Now you can see that it's taking more off the top of the chisel than what is at the bottom. So that just means I need to go back and adjust this guide a little bit, because I want that to be even right across this blade here on the chisel. Once I get that cut back, then I can actually look at putting it on the stone. Now the trick also with this, because it's only got a small stone, again it's only a cheap one, you want to run the wider chisel across it evenly, just to get an even cut right across the chisel there. The next thing we're going to do is put them on the stone. I've got a little one here that I've had since TAFE, a little box that I made. Let's see if we can sharpen it up. So we've got this stone here, or you can buy in a pack, a sharpening kit, where you've got a stone, your oil and your little honing guide. And what the honing guide does, it allows you to put the chisel in there and just hold it at your set degrees, and you run that back and forth on these wheels, and what that does, that gives you a pretty sharp angle to get your chisels done. Now I don't normally use these, but I'll give it a go today. I normally do it by hand. Doing it by hand takes quite a bit of practice, and quite a few years of doing it. So let's just see how this goes. Slide this through and line it up, tighten that up. Use a bit of this oil, again I don't normally use this, drop it on, I normally just put a bit of the old fashioned spit on there, rub it in, does the trick, but let's do a combination of the two today. Okay, so it's starting to take a little bit off the top. The whole idea of the honing guide, or doing it by hand, is that the grinder will take out a certain amount, let's just say it's 30 degrees for argument's sake, and then you want to take slightly more off when you do it on the hone, so it might be 25 degrees or something like that. So another way to do it is the old-fashioned way, and this is my favourite way of doing it. You hold the chisel on and you'll feel where it's actually been grinded out, so that's pretty much level there now. You just want to slightly raise it up just to take a little bit more off the top of the chisel. And I do a bit of a figure 8 pattern, so once I lift that up, hold it at the height you want. So you can see there, they're starting to take a little bit off the top there. Wipe with the rag. Now again, you can just see the top there starting to take a little bit off. So you just want to be slightly more than what the home was on the grinder. Once you get that right, just run the back of it across a little bit. Come back to about where your edge was. Flat again. We just want to try and take that burr off the end of it. Alright, and so there you go, we've got a little bit of a nice angle on the top there now. Should really do the trick. Okay, so there you have it guys. A couple of quick tips on how to sharpen chisels on the go. We've done this on the job site today with a very relatively inexpensive grinder, 40 bucks. Just screwed down to our saw bench. That's enough just to take the edge off the top of the dull chisels, put them on the stone and we can sharpen them up. Yes, it would have been great to put it down in a workshop on a big industrial grinder, have the guide nice and solid and really get it, you know, an immaculately sharp chisel. But sometimes for the job site, this is all you need and they're sharp enough for what I need to do. So there you have it. One thing to remember, just make sure you get that bevel right, put it at the factory angle that the chisels come out at, grind it up, just to take the edge off it, and then you just want to lift it that extra couple of degrees just when you put it on the stone to sharpen it up, just to give it that edge. Just make sure there's no burr on the end of it, and then you're done. So there you have it. Simple as that. Thanks guys. Catch you next time.